Your former boss lost his job.
Yeah.
Do you have any thoughts on Nico Harrison not working for the Mavs anymore?
Wasn't my boss, as a point of clarification.
Well, I mean, he's the GM. He is ahead of ahead of you on the depth chart for sure, right?
for sure, not anymore.
And I'll bet if he wanted you gone, you would have been
level.
gone.
Oh, that's an interesting one. That'd be an interesting.
I wonder this:
tug of war.
had he been gone like last, I don't know, March, is Mike Machine Marshall still there?
So, say a month after the trade, they fire him.
Yeah, like.
That'd be interesting. To be able to admit that you failed that hard that quickly.
Well,
that would send some.
9 months is pretty interesting too, right? Like
9 months is super interesting. Yeah. I did not expect that to happen. Just to be honest, I thought, to me, it admits so many other things besides just like this team sucks. It's like you just, I don't know. It's like the end of The Usual Suspects or something. Just like ultimate reveal after ultimate reveal after ultimate reveal of. Not only did he not put together a good basketball team, but he did this trade out of motivation of fear of losing power or wanting to gain power within the organization. Okay, that's pretty bad. And he talked me into it because he, probably wanted to stick it to Mark, and also didn't want Luka to have power over him. That's pretty bad, right? Because if you agreed to the trade, you give that guy more than 11 games. And technically 0 healthy games, 1/2 of healthy basketball to see it through. So if you are like, yeah, I really believe in this trade and this path and what you sold me 9 months ago, and let's just wait it out. So that tells me there are other motivations, and I know there are other motivations that went into the trade and went into his entire time there that you can read between the lines on. A lot of it is out there. And they realized that. And it was that paired with the fans not letting up, paired with going 3-8 start the season. And yeah, it was time, man. It was time in this summer, because putting someone as an interim GM right now, that's like, I don't know another word for it. It's so mean.
Right. Are these guys allowed to then remake the roster, or do we wait till they hire a real GM?
That's a great question, man. That is such a good question.
What if somebody calls him and wants to give you 3 firsts for Anthony Davis?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I was making a joke there. But
like, I trust Riccardi.
Let's say they would give you anything.
I mean, I trust him just as a guy who seems to really know what's going on. But the thing is, I don't know what his job is. Like, does he call Patrick Dumont if Rob Pelinka calls him? And he's like, hey, Patty.
Let me go ahead and 3-way this call real quick. Bring in Patrick.
Hey, we paused the Hoop Collective. I know you're.
Yeah, now Patrick Dumont is making decisions on whether Anthony Davis should.
That's what I'm saying. Is it doesn't matter what you think of Riccardi. It's just the situation, or Finley really, is like, what is the job? Who are they? What are they trying to do?
Like Patrick Dumont being called in to evaluate something about playing time is kind of like them calling me in to talk about the casino books and how we could, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But now I'm in charge of this and I get to make decisions. Cool.
Yeah.
Sorry, Machine. Go ahead.
No, you're good. You're good. I think so I threw this out there on my show on Strong Side last week that, and I've heard this for a little while, that Kidd does want to get out of coaching, out of the coaching grind. So doing this and putting the interim GMs in this weird, what we assume is a weird position from the outside, makes me think that Kidd is going to slide over to some level of management.
Damn.
In a soonish kind of timeline.
Would they make him the GM?
The call's coming from inside the house on
who's going to approve things.
Well, that would upset me in multitude of ways. Number one being that you need a legitimate search process. You need to interview people that know basketball, 5 to 10 of them. Patrick does, so that he will learn what people actually think about his basketball team and how they think about building teams. So if you just hit fast forward on the actual hiring process of a GM, you don't learn anything. And you're right back here for the next person to convince you of a horrible trade. Like, you just,
Yeah, this is the argument for why it's frustrating the Cowboys don't interview Ben Johnson. Like, 15 teams interview Ben Johnson because they're like, oh, figure out what he's got going on. Let's talk about who he knows and whatever.
Yeah, at least to pick their brain.
So that's part of it. And then the other thing is when the Mavs hired Rick Carlisle, if you read about, like, on True Hoop back in the day, they had one of the most exhaustive coaching searches of all time. Like, Roland Beach was running numbers, and Cuban was all over the out-of-timeout stuff. Like, and look how that worked out, you know? Pretty well. He was really good.
Well, you said this when they hired Kidd.
It made no sense.
Like, what? Now you're going off vibes and feel? Like, what if we scour the land?
It's all because of Pants DJ. If there's no Pants DJ, they don't feel like they have to do that anyways.
The guy's an easy scapegoat.
He's had a rough. You're right. Someone needs to stand up for that guy.
Yeah.
It makes me think that Kidd or Cuban's going to be calling the shots because they're already in the room, right? Which does circumvent an actual GM search, which really bums me out.
And I like Cuban, but I also think, do you want to have the guy who hired Nico back in charge of everything if that's the way he's going to be? I don't know. The whole thing smells. Everything's. Anyway.